to the University of Redlands, where I got most of my education. And after I graduated, I came over here. I wasn't even aware that this instrument existed. And I met the man who was the carillonneur at the time. His name was Lowell Smith. And in fact, I can show you a picture of him. I have one. Oh, sorry. I have one of the original.
Cool.
This is the only thing I have of this. It was the book that was published when the carillon came into existence. So, Lowell Smith was the first university carillonneur.
Okay.
And he's the man that I took lessons from. So, I came over here in the early 70s, or close to the mid 70s, and I happened to meet him because I met one of his students, and then through the student I met him, and I asked him for lessons, and he gave me lessons for a couple of years, and I continued on. Then after him, though, I wasn't ready yet to be able to assume the position. So they hired another person. Margot Halstead was the second carillonneur, and she was here for 10 years. Lowell Smith was here basically 10 years, and then she was here 10 years, and then I followed her, so I'm actually the third person. So that's kind of how I started. It was kind of by accident. I came over to take some other classes, and just by accident I met him and his student first, and then got involved with it and went on from there. So.
Okay. How long are you looking to stay here?
Well, I've already been here officially for, I think this is my 26th year now, 26 years playing weekly. And even before that, when I was taking lessons from him, and then the next carillonneur who was here for 10 years, I was playing even then, unofficially. But officially it's been 26 years. So I'm looking to stay at least through the 50th anniversary, which is going to be coming up, in 2016. 2016.
Is it too early to wonder if they're planning big events for that 50th anniversary?
Well, nothing concrete has been planned yet, but I am hoping to organize a committee and plan some events for it.
Okay.
Like to have more concerts during the year.
Yeah, sure.
And the last event like this we had was at the 40th anniversary, and with the help of others I was able to organize something. We had a banquet over in the barn, and some guest speakers and things, and then we had a whole year of concerts every single month.
Okay.
And the chancellor at the time, Cordova, she actually contributed money to help sponsor it, so she was very involved in it.
Okay.
So had good support from the chancellor for the 40th anniversary. So, we're still a few years away from it, but we're looking to do something to celebrate it.
That should be fun.
Yeah. So I don't know if you guys will still be around by then or not.
Yeah, we'll have to come back and visit then.
Yeah.
So, I've looked up past performances and things, and there's Christmas concerts and there's other things like I saw the video of you doing like Singing in the Rain and Ghostbusters. Are there any particular that you like to do more than others, or?
Well, I wouldn't say more than others, because every single thing I do, I have to like it to be able to play it, But the Ghostbusters, you probably saw that duet that I recorded with a former student, and so that was a lot of fun, but the thing about that one is that it's a duet arrangement, so I have to have somebody, a student or somebody that's qualified to do it with me. And the Singing in the Rain, the same thing, that was a duet. But there's a lot of other things, like from Broadway musicals and things that I'll do that I like from The Sound of Music. Edelweiss is a frequent one. And for the next concert I'm going to do in May, I'm going to have a series of songs from Broadway.
Oh,
So it'll be some different things, you know, from the Music Man and My Fair Lady and things like that.
So it's going to be later this month?
It's going to be May 18th, just a couple weeks away.
Great.
A couple weeks away. May 18th at 6 p.m.
okay. Do you have any particular song to play that's your favorite, or?
Well, I think my favorites are probably, if I had to name a favorite, I'm kind of a fan of the Baroque period of music, so I like pieces that are by Bach and Handel, and even though they didn't specifically write anything for the carillon, their pieces, many of them can be arranged for carillon, and they sound very, very well on this instrument.
Yeah.
You know, there's some music that sounds very well on this instrument, any Baroque music, and also these newer pieces from Broadway musicals, they sound pretty good too on it. So there's a lot of different things you can do on it. You know, there's one famous piece, Claire de Lune, that sounds pretty good on the carillon, you know. But all these things, they have to be arranged for the instrument, because you can't just play them from the original sheet music, or from the original score. You have to arrange them to fit the instrument here. So,
What's the closest instrument to the carillon, like the organ, or?
I would have to say the piano,
The piano.
but it is sort of a cross between the organ and piano, because you have your pedal board that you play with the feet, just like the organ. So somebody who's had organ lessons in the past, it would make it a much easier transition to go to the carillon, because they would already have the skills to play with their feet as well as their hands. But I would say it's slightly closer to the piano, because with the piano you're playing the key and the hammer is hitting the strings. So with this, you're playing the key and the clapper is hitting the side of the bell. So the bells themselves don't move, they're stationary. So you're moving the clapper, and it gets heavier, the clappers do, as you get to the heavier bells, the larger bells. So just like the piano, you can play loud and soft with it, you know, by the amount of pressure that you put on the keys. So I'll be able to demonstrate that.
Okay. So then these are all different sets of bells, and then the ones in your finger are all different sets of bells?
That's right. Every single key on what I'll call the manuals here correspond to a bell, but the lowest octave and a half is duplicated. So it's like on the keyboard there, your lowest octave and a half is actually also the pedal notes.
Okay.
So it's not like there's a whole separate bell for each of these pedals. You know, you can just consider that for all 48 keys there's a bell, and then it's duplicated for the lowest bells in the pedal.
Okay.
So it enables you to play melodies and different things on the pedals. Some smaller carillons don't have pedal boards at all. It's just all manual.
Oh, wow.
So this would be considered a medium-sized carillon. There's larger ones that have like 66 bells or so. Yeah, that have a whole nother octave than this one does.
Oh, wow.
But this is capable of most music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, at the time, back in 1966, it was a very good size instrument. But you know, supersized. You know, they're making the carillons. You know, and everybody's competing with everybody else. You know, to add more bells. So.
Yeah. Bigger's always better.
Yeah, bigger is better.
Yeah.
But you know, in the case of the carillon, though, you know, sometimes bigger is not always better, because it's also the quality of the sound too, the quality of the bells, and all of the guest carillonneurs that have been here to play, they've always been very impressed by the sound of these bells.
Yeah. Is it from the maker? Or are they particularly known for?
It's from the makers, the Picard Bell Foundry, and they've always been held in very high esteem for the quality of their bells.
So do you have guests up here often to play with you?
Well, whenever I have a guest, they don't play with me. They just usually do like a solo recital. It's like if I have a student like Gary Barnett, who's capable of doing it, then we might play some duets together. You know, that's kind of fun. That's kind of rare, though.
Yeah.
Because Gary, he's graduated now, so he's not around. It's like, you're in a radio studio, you don't see anybody else around, it's like you're sitting in there by yourself, so it's easy to forget that there could be people listening, So sometimes I'm playing a song and I almost want to stop and go over something again. Then I have to remember, hey, there's people out there listening, and so, because I'm up here by myself, there's no immediate audience like with every other instrument. You usually have the audience sitting right out in front of you. They're not actually right up here; they're out there. So sometimes it's kind of easy to forget, that you actually are performing.
And then with just the small amount of carillonneurs around the country, I mean, is there like a small group of people that you ever talk to about all this type of stuff, or?
Yeah, there's actually a professional organization. It's called the Guild of Carillonneurs of North America. And there's also the World Carillon Federation. So this Guild of Carillonneurs, that's sort of the people that I talk to. Like if I wanted to get a guest recitalist or something, I'd probably contact somebody in the Guild. The other thing that the Guild does is that they certify you as a professional carillonneur. So they have an examination that they administer every year at their Congress, and that's pretty much, the standard. They provide examination material, certain music that's required that you play, and then you go there to the Congress and you give what they call an examination recital that's judged by a panel of judges. And if you pass it, not everybody does, but if you pass it, then you can become what they call a carillonneur member of the Guild. They also have lower categories like a student membership and things like that. So I have done that. I did that early on because there's a lot of universities that use that as one of their standards if they're going to hire somebody, if this person has passed this Guild examination. So, in fact, that's one of the requirements that is here, is that you be a member of that organization. So, and they also publish music too, so that's a source of buying music as well.